Good evening, everyone. This is Starchild 144 once again, and it's actually 12:09 a.m. Saturday morning, but I'm just really excited about a couple of things. One of them is I found finally a solution to using, which is probably the best craft glue, which is the E6000. Now, I had been using it, but the fumes are so strong, it was giving me such a terrible, terrible, terrible headache. And, and the fumes are toxic as well. And even with adequate ventilation and windows open, fan going, and the fumes were really, really, really strong, and it was just giving me such a headache. And at one point, I figured, oh, I'll just throw it out and use another glue. So I woke up one morning, I think it was Thursday morning, Friday morning, and I said to myself, let me see if anybody else has any methods in which they use this glue. So sure enough, I went to YouTube and I discovered that you could put the glue into a syringe. And I found, I had seen these before at an art store. This is not necessarily designed for the glue. It's I found it in the fabric paint section at Blick art stores. It's probably available at other arts and crafts stores as well, but that's where I found it. And so I picked up a couple the other day, and I put in the glue according to the instructions on the YouTube videos that I found, and it works really well. Minimal fumes, very accurate. And this particular one didn't have a cap, so what I did, I just put a straight pin. See, that's just a straight pin into it. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to demonstrate how accurate this is. This is one of my one of the latest things I've designed for crochet. This is just a little shamrock. St. Patrick's Day is coming around, so as the holidays come around, I like to challenge myself and try to make something for that holiday. So this is the finished product, and I had made a couple, but I stopped the production because I didn't want to deal with the glue because it was giving me such a headache. But now that I have this method, it's just so easy, to put on attach the rhinestone. And so I'm going to attach the pin back just now. And what you do is you just squeeze it on. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It's coming down, coming down. Coming out, coming out, coming out. There it is. I might need to clean up the nozzle a bit. It does really dry, a little quickly, but and they're just a couple of bucks. I mean, Amazon also has them. You can get batches of them. You can get pretty many uses out of it. And then when you want to stop the glue from flowing, you just pull it back, pull the plunger back, and it pulls the glue back into the tube. Because if anybody has worked with E6000, you know how oozy it is. It just runs. So right now I don't even have a window open or a fan. It's late at night, and I'm kooky enough to be up doing crafts. So I'm going to put my syringe back with my glue, and this is the it's a little tie tack. So I'm just going to stick it on there, and that should be enough glue. The E6000 is really reliable. I mean, once it's set, whatever you're sticking together is stuck forever. So there it is, your little lucky charm. So I'm gonna let that dry. I mean, I don't even smell the glue. It's just that efficient. So that worked really well, and I also used it for I do a line of crocheted earrings, and I came up with the idea to put a stabilizer on the back, and because it's soft, so when you're wearing it, sometimes it'll fold over on itself. So in order to prevent that, I thought it would be a good idea to just put some kind of stabilizer on the back. So, and I also glued that on. So yeah, that works really well. And using the syringe, I can get the glue just where I want it, and without too much mess and without a lot of fumes, and everything's hunky-dory. Now, I also opened a shop yesterday on Etsy. I had known about Etsy for quite some time, and actually, I had opened. Well, I didn't open it in 2010, but I knew about it since 2010, and now 7 years later, I decided to open a shop because I'm just, doing so much stuff. You know, it's just really a convenient way to share these things, because they're just accumulating. So, but yeah, so that's a review on the syringe. That works really well. I'm gonna go ahead and stick that straight pin right back in there. There you go. And that, I'll probably use up the rest of this because I had made a couple of these, but I had stopped because I just want a different shade of green. That's nice too. I had stopped because I just couldn't deal with the glue, and I didn't want to use any other kind of glue because I don't want to make something that's gonna fall apart, when somebody gets it. So I wanted to be really reliable, something that it's gonna last a while, not fall apart on you. So yeah, but also I was going to make like a whole bunch of them, but I'm always like checking out new patterns, and I always want to try it out. So what happens is I'll make like a couple of items, and then I'll come across something else that I want to try out. So what I did, I made a pattern for this actually, and that's available on Etsy. So if anybody is looking for a really quick if you just have basic crochet skills, you can do this. It's not very complicated. So for people who want to make some shamrocks for that holiday, that's a really easy pattern. Very simple, very quick, and it's on Etsy. And the name of the shop, the name of my shop on Etsy is Creative Space Cadet. So you can find the shamrock pattern at Creative Space Cadet on Etsy. Okay, so it's 12:17. I think I'm going to wrap it up and catch some Z's and get at it again on the weekend. Good night, and well, I guess I should say good morning. Thanks for watching. Bye.